What happens when a rider's ambition becomes too dangerous for the engineers who built his bike? Tonight, we go inside the secret labs of Iwata Rebellion, where Toprak Razgatlıoğlu is staging a technical coup against Yamaha. He isn't just asking for more speed, he's demanding a machine that defies the laws of physics, shatters the legacy of Valentino Rossi, and pushes mechanical limits to the point of total destruction. Is this the blueprint for a champion or a recipe for a catastrophic disaster? This is the Iwata Rebellion. Tonight, we descend into the shadows of Iwata, Japan, where a silent war is raging within the hallowed halls of Yamaha's secret R&D facility. Toprak Razgatlıoğlu has officially shattered the peaceful engineering tradition of the rising sun, launching a high-stakes technical coup that has left veteran designers in a state of absolute shock. This is not a simple request for more horsepower, it is a full-scale assault on the established laws of physics that have governed motorcycle racing for over half a century. Toprak's demands are so dangerously radical that they have ignited a fierce internal firestorm, forcing engineers to choose between their historical pride and a chaotic new future. The atmosphere is thick with tension as the team faces an ultimatum: evolve into something unrecognizable or face the extinction of their racing dominance. The rebellion has begun, and the world of Superbike will never be the same again.
For 2 decades, the legendary Valentino Rossi was the undisputed architect of Yamaha's DNA, focusing on a philosophy of Kando, a poetic harmony between the rider and the machine. Rossi's requests were always surgical, seeking a delicate balance of agility and predictable feedback that defined the YZF-R1's global reputation. However, Toprak Razgatlıoğlu has just torn up that legendary blueprint and thrown it into the fire. His technical vision is not an evolution, it is a violent, anarchic departure from everything Rossi ever stood for. While the doctor sought balance, Toprak seeks a weapon of pure mechanical aggression that ignores the comfort of the pilot. The engineers who once viewed Rossi's standards as the pinnacle of human achievement now find themselves staring into a technical abyss, realizing that Toprak's hunger for performance has surpassed the limits of the greatest rider in history.
At the heart of this technical controversy lies a demand that defies every known principle of motorcycle stability. Toprak has ordered a complete redistribution of weight that forces the bike's center of gravity into a realm of theoretical impossibility. He requires a machine that can sustain his violent, signature stoppy maneuvers, where the rear wheel is thrust high into the air during high-speed deceleration, without causing the front end to collapse under the strain. This extreme geometry requires a radical structural upheaval, moving heavy engine components and internal fluids to positions that would make the motorcycle completely unrideable for any other human being on the planet. To an ordinary racer, this setup is a guaranteed death trap of instability, but to Toprak, it is the only way to bend the universe to his will. He is not just racing against rivals, he is actively fighting against gravity itself.
To survive the brutal mechanical torture Toprak plans to inflict, the very bone structure of the Yamaha R1 must be fundamentally rebuilt from the ground up. The main aluminum frame, usually designed for flex and rider feel, is being reinforced with experimental bracing that mimics the rigid structural integrity of a bridge. Every weld and every bolt is being scrutinized under microscopic intensity, as the force of Toprak's braking style threatens to literally snap the motorcycle in half during competition. Engineers are working around the clock to create a chassis that can handle the massive longitudinal stress of a 300 km/h stop. This is no longer a production-based racing bike. It has become a heavy-duty industrial experiment, a reinforced skeleton designed to withstand a level of violence that will turn a standard racing frame into twisted scrap metal within a single lap.
The braking system Toprak has demanded is nothing short of a hydraulic executioner, a bespoke setup that far exceeds any international racing standard currently in existence. He has requested a front master cylinder and caliper configuration capable of generating terrifying levels of hydraulic pressure. designed to halt the motorcycle's forward momentum with the suddenness of a mid-air collision. This system provides a brutal, instantaneous bite that defies human intuition, allowing Toprak to wait until the absolute last millisecond before dropping the anchor. The sheer stopping power is so immense that it requires a level of finger strength and mental focus that borders on the superhuman. There is no margin for error here. A fraction of a millimeter too much pressure would send the bike into a catastrophic front flip, yet Toprak demands this razor-edge performance to secure his victory.
When telemetry data from Toprak's test sessions finally flickered across the monitors in Iwata, the lead engineers went pale with disbelief. The digital sensors revealed that during his peak braking zones, the G-forces exerted on the front forks and the rider's body were approaching the astronomical levels experienced by elite jet fighter pilots during high-speed combat maneuvers. The front suspension is being subjected to loads that push metallic materials to their absolute molecular breaking point, far beyond the safety margins calculated for modern racing. This is a realm where human biology begins to fail, where vision blurs and internal organs are pressed against the ribcage. Toprak is asking the machine to live in this kill zone for the duration of a full race distance, forcing Yamaha to develop specialized components that can survive a constant cycle of extreme, violent compression. This high-stakes development is currently shrouded in a layer intense, paranoid secrecy that rivals a military operation. The development garage is kept under permanent lockdown, with restricted access even for high-ranking Yamaha executives, as the team utilizes advanced materials rumored to be sourced directly from the aerospace industry. Whispers have emerged from the shadows regarding the use of secret carbon fiber composites and prototype parts created through cutting-edge 3D metal printing technology, all designed to manage the impossible strain Toprak subjects the machine to. These are materials usually reserved for stealth aircraft and deep space probes, now being repurposed to ensure that Toprak's YZF-R1 doesn't disintegrate under the sheer pressure of his ambition. The silence from the camp is deafening as they hide their revolutionary breakthroughs from the prying eyes of their rivals.
Deep within the corporate structure of Yamaha, a profound philosophical civil war has broken out between the traditionalists and the revolutionaries. On one side, the veteran engineers and old guard argue passionately for the preservation of the Kando philosophy, the spiritual harmony and balance that defined the Rossi era. They fear that by following Toprak's brutal, no-compromise path, the company is losing its soul and creating a monster that no one else can ride. On the opposing side, a younger faction of radical designers supports Toprak's drive, believing that the pursuit of championship goal requires the total abandonment of historical comfort zones. This internal conflict is a battle for the very identity of the brand, pitting decades of established wisdom against a terrifyingly effective new paradigm of mechanical violence and absolute performance.
Yamaha's decision to finally yield to Toprak's demands represents a massive historical paradigm shift for the Japanese giant. For years, they were the masters of refinement, the kings of the smooth approach, but those days are officially over. By greenlighting this radical project, Yamaha is signaling a readiness to burn their own historical blueprints and enter a dark, uncharted territory of development. They are moving away from the user-friendly nature that made them famous, opting instead to build a specialized, high-risk weapon tailored for a single individual's unique genius. This is a total departure from the conservative corporate culture of Iwata. It is a desperate, exhilarating leap into the unknown, proving that the hunger for the world title has finally outweighed the fear of failure and the sanctity of their own long-standing engineering traditions.
The world of motorsports now watches with bated breath as this mechanical beast is unleashed upon the world circuits. This is the ultimate gamble. Will these radical, physics-defying modifications provide Toprak with the decisive edge he needs to crush his competition? Or will they eventually expose the critical breaking point of both human endurance and mechanical engineering? If this experiment succeeds, Toprak Razgatlıoğlu will not only secure his place in the record books with multiple titles, but he will be immortalized as the rider who successfully broke the will of a corporate titan like Yamaha, compelling them to bend to his seemingly impossible technical vision.
The stage is set for a historic triumph or a spectacular mechanical disaster. But one thing is certain, Toprak has already won the Battle of Wills, forcing the world to acknowledge his terrifyingly unique power.